Hello and welcome back to Formerly Dilapidated, where I take you through my home room by room, uh, reclaiming it and restoring order to disorder. Today I thought I would tackle organizing my pantry. So if I get closer, I've opened up the pantry doors already. So I've kind of got it somewhat categorized by different types of products, but it can get a little messy and I want to create more room for myself. So the top shelf is probably the most mishmash. Over here on the side of the pantry, I have some overflow of different storage bags and stuff like that. And they used to be here on the top shelf, but I moved them out and wanted to make more room. I was having bags of food on the floor, and I'd rather have the food in the pantry than the bags. So I want to clear out this top shelf because I seem to have miscellaneous things in here, which I don't know what I'm going to exactly do with these things yet. There's tablecloths and big platters that don't fit anywhere else. And over here are some boxes. And it's a high, it goes up. It's probably 2.5 feet up. You can see I've stacked 3 boxes of these tostada shells, so it's pretty high. I think what's in these boxes might be like paper plates and plasticware, but literally I've not gone in those boxes in years. So I have no idea really what's in there. And then, so that's really overflow shelf of the food that won't fit on the other shelves. And then this was supposed to be like on the right hand side would be like snacks, and then who knows what the left hand side, that's more like overflow as well. And then down here I've got canned goods and spices, and then baking supplies, which these are nice shelves. They go all the way back. They'll probably go, once the door hits, maybe there's another foot on each side, so they're pretty deep on each side. And then on this shelf are my grains and beans, and then all my jars. And then I have 2 rows of cookbooks, which I'm not going to do anything with today. I might. I've got these 2 boxes, well, whatever they are. I don't know what they like, that hold silverware, and so I might pull those out. There's a big basket there and another big platter, so I might go through those shelves today. We'll see. At least this one, the top cookbook shelf. And then I've got miscellaneous things in here. I've got an iced tea maker, and I've got a bread maker. So I just need to, I'm going to pull out one shelf at a time and sort it. I don't know if I'm going to put the whole shelf back, but once I pull a shelf out, we can talk about each shelf, and then I'll try to put it back. This one, from this point on, may not be. I just organized this part a couple months ago, so that's not too, but I want to actually have all my baking stuff on one shelf. I may make this shelf the baking shelf, and that shelf like snackies and whatever. So I've got flours and sugars on this shelf as well, and I kind of want all my baking stuff together. So we shall see. Anyways, let's get started. so this is what came off the top shelf. So I have a beautiful soup tureen that my brother gave me. I have this really nice platter, and some other plastic platters, including these guys. This is plastic, this is tin. This is actually a really old tray from occupied Japan from my grandmother, and I have a tea set. It's wooden, I think. I have a tea set that matches this. I have a stack of linens, tablecloths, and napkins. I have odd things like a rug gripper and a plate hanger. I have some silverware, which I knew, and some light bulbs, which I'd forgotten about, a flashlight, the food, the little bit of food that was up there, and then over here, excuse me, Alicia, I have a very dusty electric knife, which when I have make my homemade bread, sometimes I would use these years ago, but I actually forgot I had this, so I hadn't been using that. Some matches, paper napkins, more silverware, a napkin holder, probably from some craft store. Anyways, so I have not opened the boxes. I thought we would do that together on camera. I wanted to see what had to go back in on that shelf, and what could go in the garage for storage. So here is, I have no idea what's going to be in this box. So it looks very full. The whole box is in the bag. And inside the bag are these things. Okay, so individually wrapped silverware, plasticware. Okay, not sure where I got these from. That's been years, but that's all that really thought. So we could probably do something with that. And then with that, one of these boxes, something said, well, this is party, that at some point said stuff. It says rough right now, but, or it says part rough, which I think said party stuff. So anyways, there's probably party stuff in here. This does not need to be in the pantry. So I used to save the leftover hats from my children's birthday parties, because that way when the next birthday party came, they had the variety of hats that we could choose from. And different decorations, it looks like. Okay, so we've got kinds of party favors and toys and streamers. So this is definitely party stuff. Banners of different sorts. So this will go in the garage for sure. And, ooh, this is going to make me sneeze. So there are some things, as I was sitting, looking at this, pondering it, there are some things that are probably going to go back on that top shelf. I think what I'll do is I will have, let's see, I think I'm going to have the top left side go for big things that are too big for my regular cupboard storage. My cupboard storage just isn't tall enough for some of these things, or deep enough for some of these things. On the left side of the top shelf, and then on the right side of the top shelf, I'll have my linens organized and folded nicely. In that tin I tried to show you on camera is a bunch of napkin rings, so I could have that. These little plastic cups and stuff I can put in the garage. All the plasticware can go in the garage for right now, unless I find that I have a bunch of room. And then also that I'm hoping that that'll help me utilize these things more, the bread maker and the iced tea maker, if they're more accessible up here. So that's what I'm going to do. And then in the center, between the two different sides, I will have, that'll be my snack area. That's what we're going to go with right now. So I will put the camera back on and show what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm really glad I'm doing this because I'm seeing things that I haven't seen for a long time. Not so much food. I do rotate through the food, but I do have a lot here. So my mind is, my thought process is changing about how I want to organize the pantry as I pull things out. Some of these things I haven't seen for a really long time. So, for instance, these are like stands for really nice casserole dishes that I have that I forgot I even had. In this is a broken salt shaker that was a wedding present. Got a runny nose from all the dust. I don't normally keep candles in the pantry. I don't know why they're there. I've got miscellaneous napkins and placemats and more linens. These are napkins that my mom made, and where are the other napkins? These are napkins that my grandmother and her mother and sisters made by hand. And somewhere in here, if I go slowly enough, I will see, here it is. Here's the tablecloth they made with more napkins. So, and then if we go over to the food, I kept the food out that was on the top shelf because I haven't put that back yet. I have a lot of baking supplies here. Just a couple of snacks. I just have a bag of chips and box of crackers and more canned goods. So I need to wash off the shelf. What I am thinking of doing is dedicating this top shelf to non-food items and use it as something that I can access so I can actually start enjoying these things that I have instead of them just being buried. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make the top shelf, you know, things I want to use with the food, and then this shelf, I'm going to move all the baking here and the snacks here. So that's what I will do. Okay, I thought I'd tell you what I was doing before I just started doing it. So, this is what the top shelf is looking like right now. Going through what was in here, I'm sorting what I want to launder and just donate. I don't want everything back in here. So I don't think I have any placemats that I'm going to keep. There's none that are like super special, and some I don't even have enough for my whole family, and some of the napkins that just need to be washed and donated, cloth napkins. So that's what the top shelf looks like so far. I'm hoping I have room for the bread maker and iced tea maker right there. We shall see. So here is how it's divided so far. So these are all tablecloths right here. Some have never been used and some have been. These are the napkin holders, and underneath are doilies, and on top are table runners, and then the handmade tablecloths and napkins. And so I'm going to, on this shelf, I'm going to move all my baking stuff. These are the baking items that I either have lots of backups of or I don't use as often. So I'm putting those here, and then I'll move my flours and then like packaging mixes and stuff like that. And then on this side will be any snacks that we get. So that's what I'm going to be doing. The table is still pretty crowded, so just giving you an update on that. So that's what I'll be doing right now. So I'm not going to empty this whole shelf onto the table. I'm just going to move these things up and then put the baking stuff and snacks up, and then we'll empty these things right here. Okay, so this turned out differently than I expected. I have a ton of baking stuff. So here's I'll go through what I have because I always find that interesting what other people have. So maybe you'll find this interesting. So in the back, the first time I organized this a couple months ago, I had no idea how much cornstarch I had. I like cornstarch, in case you didn't hear me, but I do like to stock up. I like to have a backup. I like to prepare for things. So I buy things all the time. And then I use them. I do a lot of home baking. I make almost all of our meals from scratch. So I'm not worried about having a lot of baking supplies, but they've been scattered over 2 or 3 shelves for years now, and now I have it all in front of me. So over here is cornstarch, baking powder, baking soda, cocoa, salt, all different kinds of gluten-free flours, some egg replacers back here, some vegan egg replacers. Then we go into different types of flours, different types of sugars, Sure Gel, Crisco, and then we have our mixes. So Bob's Red Mill, different types of mixes. We have a gingerbread house back there. We have cookies and muffins and pudding. And then I decided to put, actually it's not a bad idea to have the spices over here. I don't know if you can see. Let's see if it'll light up for me. It's not, but anyways, so I have all my spices there, and I kind of like it against the side better than right here, even though this is more accessible. They often get knocked over and we have to put them back up, so I think they'll be knocked over less over here. So I have backups of garlic powder and onion powder and pepper and mustard and lots of cinnamon. I have all kinds of extracts against the wall. I have lots of vanilla, I have raspberry, almond, lemon. I have sesame seed and paprika and oregano and all that stuff. So that's all there. I don't see this being dedicated at all to snacks. So, this baking section has been on this pantry since I dedicated this area to a pantry. It used to be like dishes and stuff like that over here, but years ago when I made it into a pantry, this has been baking, so it's really weird to have baking on this section. but I will get used to it. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with the snacks at this point. Everything is changing. Also, comment below if you hate it when cans that are made to stack on each other don't stack and they fall, because that happens all the time. Cans will fall off the shelves. Like-minded cans will fall off the shelves because they're not grooved to stack with each other, so that's really annoying. Okay, so not sure. These are like dried chili peppers. I feel like that should go in with the spices, so I'm going to put this up here or over here somewhere, and then so this is what the table's looking like now. Yeah, those are the things I'm going to launder. These are the things I'm going to give away. So this is food that still has to be put away, but not on this shelf. So let's figure out the next shelf. I will take all these cans out and start sorting. So I'll tell you now what I'm doing. So I'll take all the cans out, and I usually have them by category, so, but they've gotten mixed up again. So I usually have like miscellaneous cans here, veggies here, beans here, tomato products here, and then like fruit cans all the way on the side. So maybe this will be my snack shelf too. I don't know. Or maybe I will have bottles up there. I don't know. We'll see. Because this is where I keep all my bottles and jar stuff. We'll figure it out as we go along. So I just thought I'd show you, these are all my canned goods pulled out. Okay. So they're all stacked on the table here. What I'm going to do now, what I think I'm going to do with this shelf is I'm going to still organize it by type of can, like I said, the beans, tomatoes, fruit, etc. on the right hand side, but I'm going to spread it out a little bit more so I can actually see them easier, because on this side I am going to move the jarred stuff, and I think that I will have more room to spread those things out as well. And I do try to categorize them, but sometimes I just run out of room and they get squished in there. But I have my oils together, my salsas, my jams usually, my sauces, things like that. And then this shelf is beans and grains, and the snacks. We'll see if I have the snacks in here. But I'm getting a little worried that those guys might be too big to fit up there. So I may be doing something. We'll have to see as I go along. But the right hand side is going to be cans, and then I'll just go ahead and move the jars up, and then when I'm done with this shelf, I'll just show you how it looks and go over the products. Okay. change of plans. I'm disappointed. So I've spread out my cans, not terribly. I mean, a lot of them are still almost coming to the edge, but definitely more than they were before, so I could see my categories easier. And then I tried to move my jars up. It's not gonna all fit. I just have that much room left, and I have those jars, and I still have all these jars. So what I think I'm gonna do is remove those jars, make that part the snacks, and then when I get to this shelf, see if taking these guys out, the iced tea maker and the bread maker, will make room and I can spread things out more. I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to deal with these silverware containers today and this miscellaneous stuff today, because I really won't have any room to put anything. So I need to make room somewhere else before I can tackle those, but I am going to be happy that I'll have more access to these things so I can use them more. But anyways, the next step I'm going to be doing is putting these jars back on that shelf, but organized as best as I can, because I am going to, let me think about this. Actually, yeah, I'll start putting the jars back here, and then when I move the grains and beans out, then I can move these guys out and spread everything out. So I may or may not come back on to narrate. We'll just see, but that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, so I emptied all the grains out, and the jars the jars I didn't put back in, but others I just organized and then shoved. I haven't organized those yet. Here's the iced tea maker and the bread maker. I wiped them down because they were dusty, and so I'm going to put you back up and see if what I can do to get them on that top shelf, and then put all of these grains back and jars. So let me go over what I have real quick. So I've got all these different bags of my beans and brown and white rice, and beans, lentils, red and brown, bags of rice, and then this is gluten to make your own seitan, breadcrumbs, lots of pasta. I only have the spaghetti kind right now, and then just the leftover. This was the miscellaneous food that's got to go back in there too. So we have a curry mix, which I haven't bought this in years because it has MSG, but I bought it the other day. But literally probably in 10 years, like my son has never had this. Hash browns, peanut butter, sriracha, udon, tostada shells, cups of soup, coconut milk broth. So anyways, we'll figure all this out, and I think I'm just going to work, and then I'll do an outro when it's all done. Okay, I have kind of mixed feelings about the end result. So I moved all those things out. It seems like I am just as crowded, but just like things are in their right spot, I guess. But I'm just, which is okay. I like a full pantry, but I wanted to, like, I wanted all the jarred stuff to be with the jars, and those tostada bowls are taking up a lot of room, frankly. But we don't normally have them. I just got them on Friday, and today is Sunday. So anyhow, I managed to squeeze those up there. I had to rearrange the linens. This is not ideal, but as I make more room in my kitchen, well, those are just too big, but there was one cupboard I might be able to fit the ice maker in, the iced tea maker, but we just never made iced tea because it was tucked away up high. So I'm trying to move things to where I'll access them. So I really only use tablecloths during holidays, so it's not going to be a big deal for me to take down the iced tea maker to get the tablecloths. There's the bread maker, the soup tureen, all my platters, which I'm currently happy about. I used to have a baking business, and I got these platters for Valentine's Day. I don't need all those Valentine's platters now. Anyhow, here's all my baking supplies all on one shelf. So I am happy about that. I found these beer bread mixes. I don't get a lot of mixes, but every now and then if I see a bargain, I'll pick something up. And then the spices and those dried peppers are back there. So I would just take the beer bread boxes out of the way. And so then we have our cans, and I kept having to reshuffle the cans to make more room, but there's pumpkin and pineapple and cranberries back there, all my tomato products. I tried to organize the beans by rows, but like specific type of beans, but I ended up running out of room, so they're kind of stacked. I got everything from kidney, refried pinto, black, garbanzo, and then I go into hominy, green beans, corn, beets, and then what I call like the miscellaneous section. My son loves baby corn and beans, bamboo shoots and water chestnuts, and we've got coconut milk and hearts of palm back there. And then these are the miscellaneous jars that, interestingly enough, didn't fit down there, and they used to, but I think it's because I moved these tostada bowls down from the tip top, and that took away that room. So this is fluid, it can change again. Here's like instant things. I've got broth back there, miso, yeah, and then hash browns, and just a little bit of snackies that I have, not very many. So this gonna have to, this is all fluid, it all changes because we rotate through this stuff quite a bit. This is not where I keep like our open stuff, I keep that in the kitchen. So okay, and so down here I've got white rice, and then all my brown rice, and all my bagged beans and legumes, and breadcrumbs, and then my standing bag, and then back here is the gluten flour, along with all my pasta, the tostada bowls, and all the seasonings and salsas and oils, and well, I don't have any oils down here now. Pickles, vinegars, non-stick sprays, condiments. I have dye-free maraschino cherries. So yeah, soy sauce, and then down there are the 2 shelves of cookbooks, which I'm not doing today, so I'm going to call this done. I'm happy because things are all where they should be, except for that little patch, but other than that, I think this looks very nice. So let me know how you're doing with your organization. If you have a pantry, how do you like to organize it? I'd love to see your organizations, and thank you for stopping by and spending time with me and supporting me, and I support you too. You have a blessed day. Bye-bye.